The spike in new COVID-19 cases is driving decisions about our kids and classrooms. Philadelphia's health commissioner says right now 10% of new COVID tests are coming back positive. But NBC10 investigative reporter Mitch Blacher found face-to-face learning is still on track for Philadelphia's youngest students.
The more than 30,000 pre-K through second graders in Philadelphia's public schools can still expect to be back in classrooms November 30th. But the COVID spike is delaying teachers' in-class return from November 9th to the 16th. The superintendent says the logistics of in-person learning are still being worked out.
Families can choose whether or not to send their child back or not. But we think it's really important, particularly for our youngest learners, to get them back into a face-to-face situation as quickly as possible.
And Dr. Height says there's a huge range between schools with families that are and are not opting out of in-person learning. He says in some schools, less than 1% of families are opting out. In others, more than 90% are.
We're going to make sure we're matching the teacher expertise with the students who are coming back to schools. We need a little more time to determine how to do that.
The superintendent says the district will follow public health guidance.
So there definitely is some level of risk in schools, but again, there's risk to any activity, from going to the grocery store, to eating at a restaurant, to voting.
Philadelphia's health commissioner says in the 8 months since the pandemic started, not a single child has died in Philly from COVID. He noted that 7 have died from gun violence in that time.
We do know that children handle this infection much better than adults do. It's very rare for children to get seriously ill.
In Philadelphia, 90% of COVID deaths traced to people older than 60. While the health commissioner says young kids can transmit the virus, he also said they have smaller lungs that produce fewer respiratory droplets, making them generally less infectious. In Philadelphia, I'm Mitch Blacher, NBC 10 News.